Tonight we're going to be talking about the fact that I don't know if you know it or not, but your destiny is waiting. Your next level is waiting. Your abundance is waiting. The life that you want to live, it's waiting on you. And it's so funny because more often than not, we think we're waiting on it. I remember seeing this video from this little girl named Morgan, and she was like, God, where are you? You need to open up another door. I'm tired of going to this job. And in all this rant, never did she take ownership of the fact that she could do something different to change her life. And in the time that she stood there waiting on God, He had already delivered. She was super funny. She was super engaging. The video went viral. And at the end of the day, she could have been saying a lot more things for her business, for her side hustle to get the right attention. But instead, she was sitting there waiting on God. So tonight, I want to ask, how many of you are there? How many of you are there waiting on God to do what He's already said, what He's already done, what He already said He was going to do? And yet you sit there waiting on a change, waiting on things to be different, waiting on, what you think is to come, and never giving yourself the power, the accountability, the opportunity to go get what He says is already yours. So your best is, you're not waiting on your best. You're not waiting on your next. Your best and your next is waiting on you. We can't hear you, Miss Reverend Minister.
So I'm over here in the amen corner talking about amen. It's true, Coach. I think a lot of times I don't even know how to say this and not offend anybody. It's
well,
almost,
girl, we are in the offending business.
it's almost like we have to be given permission to be great, or we have to be given permission to think about ourselves first. Sometimes it's just like somebody giving you a bag full of money and a key, and you never connect the bag to the key, not believing that it's yours. You got everything you need on the inside of you already. He's already given you permission when he said, I blessed you. That's all the permission you need. So I think sometimes we overthink it.
No, more often than not. So tonight I want to talk about 6 things that I want you to think about as you start your journey towards accepting. Because you don't even have to work hard. You just got to accept it. Towards accepting your abundance, your gifts, your greatness. Number 1, there's a Chinese proverb that says the journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. When people ask me, how did you get started? I say I took a step. And I continue to take steps every day. Some days they're not that monumentous. Some days they're almost imperceptible. Some days I fight the steps. Some days I don't feel like taking those steps. But what I find is that if we just continue to stumble, even if ever so slightly forward, what happens is that the compound effect of those steps over time means you've moved. I think people are waiting on a tsunami of a movement, and it just doesn't start like that. I think people are looking to be moved to that magical place in a day. And it just doesn't work like that either. The best thing I can tell you is to put one foot in front of the other as many times as you can in a day. Over a year, 2 years, 3 years. If you've been consistent in your forward movement, you will find that you have traveled so far. And it really just starts with that one step. And I'm not going to lie, picking that foot up, that one step, that's the hardest part. You're going to think about that step. Will said it's a slight echo. Can y'all see? If it's a slight echo on your end, you're going to think about that step. You're going to daydream about that step. You're going to procrastinate on that step. You hear echo on here or on the live stream? Let me see. Can y'all hear it now?
Keep going. Am I echoing as well? No, I'm not.
It's just me.
Okay.
Girl, I don't know what's wrong with my volumes.
You might want to, let's try this. Let's turn your camera off, unplug it, and plug it back in. Sometimes that'll reset it. So while we're doing that, I'm just want to say this, just to piggyback on what Coach was saying. I think that when we overthink our next steps, it does delay us. But I remember what they say, an inch and a cinch.
Inch by inch is a cinch.
There you go.
Yard by yard, it becomes hard.
Yes. So even if you are moving just a little bit, if you look like you're not moving. It's like when you see an airplane flying, it looks like it's going so slow, when in actuality, it is really, really going fast, and it's going to hit its destination. It's just that we think that if we don't have, like Coach said, massive movement, I blame Burger King.
Why is Burger King? Am I still echoing, guys? Why is it Burger King fault?
Because, they say you can have it your way, quick and fast.
That's fast food.
I'm just saying. So
let me see if I can
check your mic, like your mic settings.
I think that might be better.
That's better.
Is that better? I was on the other mic. Okay. So
yeah, it's Burger King's fault.
But it's lifestyle, period. We think we want everything instantly. We think everything is going to come right away. Everybody forgets that, in farming, and I love the analogy of farming with business, and the Bible also always talks about sowing seed and you reap what you sow. Hey, Living Boldly, that was my midnight friend the other night. But there's a process that happens when you want to get fruit out of the ground. Amen.
Yep.
You don't just go out back, plant a seed, and the next day you got to harvest. There's some work that has to be done between you planting that seed and you eating that fruit. And that's the piece, thank you, Will, that people have forgotten about. Thank you, Dr. Vernice. Thank you, Ingla. Is that you can't just go eat the fruit. And that there's long and arduous work required for you to be able to reap. We don't compare our businesses to our jobs, because you don't just go to a job and get a promotion. You don't just go to a job and get an increase. You don't just go to a job and get that next level benefits. You got to sow some seed in that job.
Yeah.
More often than not, a lot of time, you look at it 10 or 15 years to even get to an executive level when it doesn't take you that long in your business, but you'd rather do it for somebody else than for yourself. So the first thing I want you to remember is that that first step is the hardest part. The second thing I want you to remember is that there will always be reasons, AKA excuses. Every day, you're going to have just as many reasons not to start as to start. And if you're ready to get started, we want to encourage you to go to bit.ly/purpose and profits call and schedule a call. I had somebody sign up for my membership and she said, Coach, I followed you long enough. Some of y'all are sitting in the audience when you should be on the stage. Some of you guys are sitting in the stands when you should be playing the game. Some of you are waiting. Thank you, Dawn. Thank you, Carolyn, for sharing. Some of you are waiting on what you think is to come instead of going out and getting it. And getting it while they're getting is good. I'm about to put a note in all of my membership groups tonight to start stocking up your refrigerator. We're going to have COVID conversation tomorrow night. Things you should stock up on right now. They said round 2 of the virus, they said, we told people to stay at home. They say them airports were packed.
The streets were packed here, up and down.
Packed here.
I'm like, oh my gosh.
Thank you, Ms. Berlin. It's Purpose and Profits. Purpose and Profits call. bit.ly/purpose and profits call. Don't let the fact that you don't know what to do be the reason that you do nothing. See, remember that's number 2. There's always going to be a ton of reasons. I'm busy. The kids are busy. It's COVID. My knee hurt. I'm tired.
Tradition.
My old man tripping. There's always going to be a ton of things that will keep you from where you're supposed to be going anyway. See, you have to remember the enemy told you up front, I come to steal, kill, and destroy. I come to steal your dreams and kill your abundance and destroy your hopes and your prosperity. And a lot of that will look like regular, everyday stuff. Mm-hmm. And some of it is. Some of it, all of it ain't the enemy. I'm not going to give him that much power. Some of it is just your stuff. Yeah. On an everyday basis. And learning how to deal with your stuff so that it doesn't get in the way. But, you know, I made a commitment long ago never to walk in anyone's shadow. If I fail, if I succeed, at least I live as I believe, no matter what they say to me. They can't take away my dignity. Because the greatest, yes, the greatest hope of all is happening in me. In me. And I found the greatest love of all inside of me. So if you chance that special place that you've been dreaming of, y'all don't know, did y'all catch on yet? Did y'all catch on yet? Ain't nobody caught on yet.
They have it. They have it.
They ain't caught on yet. But seriously, win or lose, it'll be on my terms. And it won't be because I didn't try. It won't be because I didn't get out there and do my best. Look, I'm far from perfect. I get held up like everybody else. Sometimes I'm like a bank. I'm like them my people on the corner. I get arrested. Some things just get in my way. But I got to make those choices to do whatever it takes me to move those things out of my way so I can have forward progression. So number 2, it's going to always be a lot of reasons. You got to figure out your way beyond those reasons. And if you can't do it by yourself, Don't keep sitting on the sidelines without help. Go to bit.ly/purpose and profits call and get you some help. England, you figured it out. Number 3, obstacles. One of my favorite sayings, and I can't remember who said it, but it was one of my mom's favorite sayings too. And it said, if you can't go over, go under. And if you can't go around, go through. And if you can't work the middle, work the middle.
I think you're confusing
Something. Aaliyah.
Aaliyah and Henry Ford. Not a bad confusing.
Rock,
I mean,
rock to
I'm just saying.
work the middle, work the middle,
Oh,
work the middle, work the middle, change position, change position, change position, rock it for me, rock it for me, rock it. So basically what I'm saying is,
yeah.
and Martin Luther King said, if you can't, what he say? If you can't run, then walk. And you can't walk, then crawl. If you can't crawl, then fly. But however you gonna get there, and sometimes you gotta be that determined about yourself as you are about other people and other things. Like if you're a single parent, you know how it is finding daycare for your kids if you want to go out at night.
Ooh.
But girl, and the more kids you got, the harder. When you get to 3, it's almost impossible. But notice how I said almost. You gonna find a way.
Found a way.
To find you a sitter so you can be at that bar.
Anybody.
Perseverance. You start earlier, you pay a little more, you figure it out.
Yes.
Isn't your abundance worth figuring out? Isn't your next level worth a little bit of tenaciousness and perseverance? Isn't it worth a little strategy? If it didn't work the last time, maybe you start a little earlier, spend a little more. Nobody's impacted by you not getting there but you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the big thing people need to realize is sometimes we're so hesitant because we don't want to make a mistake, or we don't want to waste money, or we don't want to do this and we don't want to do that. But realize that there's nobody being hindered but you.
And Coach, what about people that, because I know sometimes I used to feel like I didn't have a next level. You just feel like you just stuck. Like this is all there is. This is all there ever gonna be. Because everybody doesn't have the opportunity to see what's possible with the eyes that we can see.
Girl, I didn't have these eyes always. It goes back to that. Are you willing to get up and go look? Because no, it wasn't going to come to me at happy hour. It wasn't going to come to me laid up on the couch at night watching infomercials. It just was not going to come for me. So when I got to that point where I said there's got to be more, let me go look. And that's biblical. He says seek.
Mm-hmm.
He never said I'm bringing it to your house. He said seek. He said ask. He said knock. The whole Bible is a verb. And so when I started reading the Bible as a verb, instead of just a collection of poetry, and when I started using it as basic instructions before leaving Earth.
Yes, come on now.
And using it as a manual instead of just reading it because everybody else was reading it and saying things because everybody else was saying things. I started taking it more literal. And when he said ask, start asking.
Yeah, that's good.
And when it said knock, I started knocking. When it said seek, I start seeking. That's for you. And so part of our problem is we won't move beyond the boundaries we've set for our everyday selves.
Mm-hmm.
We went to the Outlook Mall today and it was packed. And I told Troy, don't worry about that Outlet Mall. We can go any day of the week. We don't have to go on Black Friday. We got freedom. We can go on Blue Monday when ain't nobody gonna be there because everybody else gonna be back at work. Tyler, 2 and 2, baby. Do we have room for a bag of ice? You know, so we are not forced to follow the same path that everybody else is following. And that's a blessing. And that was one of my favorite poems by Robert Frost. He said, two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I could not travel both and be one traveler. But he talks about how he took the road less traveled by.
Yes. Oh, I love that poem.
That's going to be the key to surviving this COVID.
Yes.
You're not going to be able to find toilet paper at Sam's. You're not going to be able to find meat at the grocery store. You're going to have to take the road less traveled by. I remember one time there was going to be a hurricane. Tyler probably remembers this. And we were going to leave town. We tried to leave town, and the traffic was horrific.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to turn around and prepare. Well, we couldn't go to the grocery stores because the grocery stores was all out. So we took $100 and we went to the corner store. We bought raviolis in the can. We brought candles. You remember that, Tyler? Huh? Huh? Yeah. But you remember we got back, we went to the corner store we used to get our pizza from. We got tuna cans. We got all this stuff. Did it cost a little more because we were buying at the corner store? Absolutely. But did we get it? Did we have it? You know, yeah, tuna is 2 cans for $1 at the grocery store, but the grocery store didn't have none.
Right. It wasn't an option.
It's not an option. So sometimes you got to get off the beaten path with your business. Stop following everybody else with your hopes. Stop following everybody else with your aspirations, and even stop worrying about what everybody else has to say.
That's good.
About you and your life. So will there be obstacles? Absolutely. But you got to choose to move forward in spite of. So number one, we already talked about your abundance. Your next level is waiting, but we're talking about what are some of the things that keep you from taking that journey. So number one was just getting started. Number two was all of the different excuses that they're there. And some of them are good reasons. I don't try to trivialize anybody's history. You may have been a victim of child abuse. I'm not saying that's not hurtful. You may be a victim of child molestation, family incest. I'm not saying it's not horrible. I'm saying, how long are you going to let it dictate your future? Because the past is the one thing we cannot control.
That's right.
We can control today.
That's right.
And what we do today impacts tomorrow. But we cannot control yesterday. And we can't control other people's actions. So we got to stop letting things hold us back. And then we talked about the obstacles. They're going to be there. But some obstacles, believe it or not, are to strengthen you. And when you go look back, our God is so humorous that you'll look back at some things and be like, okay, that was basic training.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't designed to break me, because if it was designed to break me, I'd be broken.
Yes.
It wasn't designed to break me. It was strengthening my resolve. It was strengthening my mindset. It was getting me conditioned. I was talking to the doctor yesterday, and she said, how do you sleep? I said, sporadically. She said, well, I don't know how long you can keep doing that. I said, girl, I've been doing this 9 years. I sleep when I'm tired and I work when I'm not. And if you think about it, maybe everybody should operate like that. Who said we got to sleep 8 hours a night? Who told you that? If you wake up in the middle of the night with a good idea, go to your computer and put it on paper. Maybe you won't wake up in this flood of the way, Chanel Black boy. Chanel told Coach, I had the best idea in my dream last night. I'm like, well, girl, where is it? She said, girl, I can't remember that thing to save me.
For nothing.
I said, girl, it's all right. It'll come back. But that's the truth. It doesn't. But sometimes that's God waking you up in the middle of the night telling you need to get to work. I truly believe that. And then there's distractions. Social media is a distraction.
Yeah.
Social media is good and it's bad. Period. And it's good for everything it's good for. And, it's bad for everything it's bad for. And you could literally go down a tunnel of social media and never come out.
Everybody's thumbs strong, Coach.
What happened?
I say everybody's thumbs got one big thumb from scrolling.
Exactly. Thumbs can lift 1,000 pounds.
Right.
But then what else are you doing with that strong thumb? Are you taking it and turning it into something you can use? Or are you just using it? And I don't think you have to work all the time, even though I do. But the reason I work all the time is because I wasted a lot of time. I wasted a whole lot of time doing a whole lot less. So now I feel like I'm in catch-up mode to a certain extent.
Coach, I always say that, nothing is wasted. I think during the times that, that you weren't coaching and during the times that, you were still on the couch or doing whatever it was you're doing up there, wrecking Chase, putting a business straight. I think all of that helps us who are assigned to you today. You know what I mean? You can tell us what's wasting our time. You can tell us how to be more effective. It's just these things that, especially we as women, we feel like, man, I remember you told me, I'll never forget this, y'all. Okay, y'all know I like to tell stories. When I first connected with Coach, I think I inboxed her on LinkedIn. And I said something like, oh my gosh, I just watched some video you had done. And I said, not a video. I think back then, I'm lying. I inboxed you on LinkedIn, but I had been listening to you on the teleconference. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I found you, because I didn't realize you were on Facebook, but I saw a post you made on LinkedIn. And so you said something that was so key. You said, everything in its season. We were meant to connect. Now is the time. And that was just so profound for me. And the church said the same thing. It's all in God's time. It's the same thing. It's just, when you're ready to be coached, when you are ready to move to the next level, help shows up. And just because it don't look the way you think it's supposed to look, the help still shows up. And a lot of us, we push past our help looking for something perfect, something pretty and shiny.
Something that looks different. Yeah.
Yes. It talk different.
That's funny.
And never knowing when you scroll past that or you passed up that inbox message, that was the person that was supposed to connect you to your next. That was the person that's supposed to walk with you, mentor you, and take you to your next level, stretch you. That's the part that people pass out on, is the stretching, the thinking different, trying to figure it out, trying
The
to think
unlearning
different.
all the bad habits,
Mm-hmm.
the unlearning all the wrong stuff. Because you got to think about it like, okay, well, if I learn this, if I unlearn this, it was wrong. Then that means my grandmama taught me wrong. That means my grandmama was wrong. And you know, we get whooped for saying grandmama was wrong. Wait a minute now. You gotta say your grandma was wrong. So we have these knee-jerk opinions about, but you know, you just gotta buckle down and say, shoot, the world was wrong.
Yeah, yeah, we learned it the wrong way. And we weren't taught how to gain access to everything the system has to offer. We weren't taught to think that way. We weren't taught to think bigger and taller and larger. We were only, it's almost like, oh, if I had me a little box, it's almost like you were only allowed, oh, here's a great example. See this little box? It's pretty, huh? When my grandma first bought it, it was beautiful, right? And this looks like this is everything. But if I'm only taught to think this much, I think this beautiful box is all that it is. Never knowing that this box is inside something much, much bigger, something more. And we end up just stuck in here. And y'all know what we do? We drag the Most High in here with us, trying to cramp his head down in this box, trying to lock him down, trying to tell him how to bless us. Don't only bless me a little bit, Lord, because I don't want no big blessings. You know, I don't need nothing else. This is all that I need. But we put everything in a box, and the box limits our thinking, it limits our growth, and it limits our money. You can't put all that I need in here. This ain't gonna pay for that boy of mine to eat.
Okay. Mine's neither, girl.
Just
That's
saying.
not enough.
It's a mess, coach.
So here's what ends up happening though. My number 5. All of that piles up into regret.
That's good.
The shouldas, the wouldas, the couldas. I wish I would have done more. I wish I would have started earlier. I wish I would have done differently. It's a lot, y'all. And it piles up on you in the form of regret.
Just make you better.
Because all of the things you could have had, you could have been had you been working, had you been on the right path, had you been getting help, had you been deliberate. And so, me personally, I just don't want to be that person that misses out because I didn't do the work.
It's impossible for you to miss out if you do the work. It's a principle. We talked about that today. It's a spiritual law that whatever you put in, you're going to get out. You put in a little bit, you can only take out a little bit. But if you just go, I almost said balls to the wall. But if you just go for it,
nigga, like,
if you just go for it, all out, be hungry. Be hungrier for being outside the prison than to stay hungry in the prison. Be hungry for what's outside the cage, what's outside the box.
And that's the thing too, nobody can want it for you. If I had my choice, I would bless thousands and thousands and thousands of women with opportunity. I don't have my choice. They got to make a choice.
Yeah.
They got to make a choice. They got to make a decision. They got to make a sacrifice. They got to make an investment. I can't just do it for them. If I could, some days I feel like I have the energy to do it.
But it's not even about that, coach, because even if we did do it for them, they would still walk away from it. They don't have any skin in it. You have to be able, you can't believe in stuff that you haven't invested in. You know how they say, well, I can't sell something I don't believe in. I can't sell you Tab if I never drink it. Right? Because there is
Yeah.
a genuineness that comes through when the product is tried and true. So even if we were to hand it to you, the Most High don't even do that. You gotta go through. You gotta walk through. You gotta walk your path and experience everything that's on that path. You know, we be wanting shortcuts.
I think there are shortcuts available, but ain't no shortcuts through the work.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
You gotta do the work.
I know it's worth it. I know for me, it's worth it. I can't imagine never stepping out, even though it was scary, it was uncomfortable, it was something I had never done before. But I think about if I had never made that call, if I had never scheduled that call to talk to coach, I would still be working in a cubicle, making okay money and never ever living abundantly. I want to just encourage you to schedule a call and talk about what is possible for you. Not what's possible for your mom and them, your sister and them, how the people in your family, your cousins, not what's possible for them, but for you. Each of you has a plan and purpose for your life. You just need to know what it is. Go to bit.ly/purpose and profits call and get on the schedule. What's the worst thing that can happen that it would work for you? Take a chance on you. Somebody put that in the chat earlier. Take a chance on you, something that you love to do. Figure it out. And once you do, you won't go back. I don't know, coach. I think freedom from anything costs. You just can't, it's not going to be free. Even salvation ain't really free.
But it costs to stay where you are. And see, that's
For
the
sure.
crazy thing is that to me, the ultimate cost is
Mhm.
having, not having access to, uh, not living the best possible life. To me, that's more than the cost of going. Comparatively, the cost of moving is cheap. I can't live with regret. That's why I try to treat people the way I want to be treated. I don't want to ever have a day where I'm missing somebody and say, I could have done more for them.
Mm.
Whether they just left my life or whether they left life in general. That's one thing I don't like living with regrets.
Yeah.
So I try to treat people the best I can in this moment. I can't do nothing about tomorrow,
True story.
but I can treat you halfway decent today. And I think people don't realize that's what buys you grace. I'm far from perfect.
Yeah.
I'm have some days where you be like, girl, I don't even remember why I fooled with her. Then you say, yeah, I remember why. I don't want you to have to take too long to figure it out. And just leaving something in the world where people can look around them and think about the impacts.
That's good.
whether it's their bank account or shoot a freezer, a loaf of bread, a laptop, or anything,
A little bit of coffee.
little piece of cheese sandwich,
Girl.
anything,
Yes.
just to say, and that's how I feel about God.
Hmm.
And that's why I like to pay it forward because I think He gives it to me for that reason. He gives it to us for that reason.
Yeah.
He says, I bless you now. Go bless somebody else in their day.
Yeah.
Go be a little light for somebody else that may not be feeling too well today, or it's just I think we just have more opportunity
We
than we
definitely
give
have
ourselves credit for.
we definitely have more than our ancestors. I know that much.
Girl, we have more than our immediate ancestors, just more opportunity.
Hmm.
And that's another thing that I don't want to waste is what they left here for us. Because they didn't have it.
Mm-mm.
They had to work for somebody else. Yes or no, some master, this, a boss, that. We ain't too far from it.
For free. And
For
some of
free
us,
and for years for cheap.
yeah, yeah. Mm.
For years for cheap.
I'm just glad. I'm grateful.
I'm thankful.
So grateful.
That's why I like Thanksgiving. Not because of the pilgrims and the Indians. Girl, we might well have a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving. That was that was what we did, a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving when I was in the third or fourth grade. Yeah, because I was in elementary school. And girl, that was the best day ever.
Who dressed up like the turkey?
Yeah, we didn't have costumes.
Oh.
We just had a party. So you got to bring stuff like popcorn.
Hmm.
We put popcorn on the tree. We had a Charlie Brown tree. The tree was horrible. We got to bring peanuts and M&Ms, just weird stuff for Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I remember that to this day. My mom, when I was little, for a working Black woman, my mom was amazingly involved in my upbringing. So much so, I remember she threw me a birthday party at school every year. This is when they used to let you bring your birthday party to school.
Hmm.
And every year I had the party of the year at school. One year she got me a Superwoman cake made. Food. This was pre DeMorris era. This was pre go to the grocery store.
Yeah. Yeah.
This was pre all that era.
You had to know somebody.
You had to know somebody and know somebody. Them cakes wasn't cheap.
Yep. And that they liked you. So they would make it.
Right.
All based on relationship.
Everything. But my mom was a relationship person.
Yes.
But she had me brought the Superwoman cake to school. One year I had M&M cookies. This was pre. Go to the grocery store and get M&M cookie era. One year my birthday at school was such the bomb. I didn't get no cake and no punch. Cause I set mine down. I don't know where it went. Somebody gobbled it up. But girl, I remember leaving school. Cause that was the day I would ride home with my mama. Girl, just smiling.
See, I would have liked to have been in your class. At least I could have got me a little piece of cake or.
She did it every year. I don't know how. I don't know how, but she did it. I was in school plays. I was in the choir. We did a Christmas musical every year. We did a Mickey Mouse musical. Girl, and I would be the only piece of chocolate up on that stage
Yeah, I used to be in the choir, coach.
every year.
I was so excited when they gave me an opportunity to be in the choir.
I used to be in the school plays. I used to be in the Girl Scouts. I played softball, and I don't know how she did it, but I always had what everybody else had: shoes, gloves, cleats. I don't know.
And that's what we're talking about, y'all. Being able to provide opportunities that you had or that you didn't have for your children. That's what legacy is. And coach, we talked, I don't know, I guess it was when I was there in Houston. We talked about legacy being, yes, it's wealth, it's financial, but it's also a mindset, passing down the right mindset to your children. And with that mindset comes wisdom. Don't you know that any information that you give to your kids prepares them and gives them wisdom? Even even the information you don't say to them, the way you live out your life. I think it's so important to leave the right message behind.
And the right expectations.
Mm-hmm.
I think people don't understand that even the expectation of having a house, having a car,
Being able to pay your bills.
being able to graduate from college without debt, all of that you do sets a higher level for the next generation
That's good, coach.
and a higher level of expectation. We shouldn't be expecting to have student loan debt. We should expect to live debt free. We should expect to go to the dealership and get cars and not have to pay for them forever and a day. We should expect to be able to start our own businesses and generate revenue.
Yeah, yeah, that's good. Guys, listen, if you want to have a conversation just about what you can do to leave your children in a position of opportunity, go ahead and schedule a call. bit.ly/purpose and profits call. Listen, there is another way, y'all. Just because it's something that you're hearing new tonight, whether you're watching the replay, whether you hit that subscribe button on YouTube and you've been following us, we're telling you that there is another way to do this thing that we call life. If there's another way.
I want to hear something crazy funny before we go.
Yeah, coach.
Girl, why you talking about yeah, coach? I'm finna tell our business.
Uh-oh.
So y'all know them exercise screens? You know them exercise screens, like you can get in the class and you can actually see
like the mirror.
The mirror and
Yeah.
the people can see you. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Y'all tell me in the chat if y'all know what I'm talking about. Anybody know what I'm talking about? It's a mirror and you can get in the mirror and you go to these different exercise classes and it's like you in class with the people.
You can work out with your friend.
Y'all know what I'm talking about? Come on, y'all. Y'all gotta tell me something in the chat. If y'all know what I'm talking about. I know I ain't crazy now.
It's all in my Facebook feed.
Yeah, I know y'all ain't the only one. So me and Chanel said we gonna get one, and the people gonna come to class and we gonna be sitting there eating lunch, talking to each other. We gonna be we gonna be in the back of the class, sitting there eating lunch.
I'm gonna pull my chair up with a little table tray.
I'll pull mine up to my girl. Look at them.
I'm gonna work
They gonna ban us. They gonna ban us from the little exercise. D Morris, you don't know what we talking about? Girl, go see that little mirror.
It's called the mirror.
It's called a mirror. You can work out in a mirror, but they be in the mirror.
Yeah. It's super cool. It is super cool. Now
But girl, they would come to every day. They come to classrooms. Me and Chanel be sitting there with our legs crossed, talking about, oh girl, go ahead and get ready for your class. Don't mind us.
Coach, they got one now that had a little metal arms on it, and you fold the arms down, and you can do like that with us. We're talking about you ain't gonna do nothing but hang all your clothes on the wall.
Oh girl, that's all. Because why I had an exercise bike one time, And my ex-husband wrote me a note that said, please don't hang your clothes on me, sign Mr. Bike. Girl, I ain't doing no but ball that note up and hang some more. That was my staging area.
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna get
Girl,
one.
I could count. Let me tell y'all something. Y'all know I got an elliptical at my house. Ain't that called an elliptical bike? What's that called?
A bicycle, a cycle.
I don't know what it's called. Ain't no Peloton, not that. Cause I'm not ready to tell that big a lie to myself yet. But this cycle right here I got in my house, girl, everybody rides it. Every child, every delivery driver,
Cujo.
grown men, the dog, everybody rides this bike. Girl, I ain't did a mile on that bike yet. And that bike been here
And
about
all the
2
times
years.
I just sat down and spent it a little bit since I've been coming over there, I think I'd have hit a mile.
You ain't hit no mile yet. Girl, you ain't hit a quarter mile because I ain't hit a
add them
quarter
all
mile.
together. You gotta add them all
If you
together.
add all of them together, girl, you probably went backwards more times than you spun forward. I'm just being honest.
Oh, it's a comfortable seat though.
Ain't that a cute little seat?
Oh, it's comfortable.
It didn't fit your butt just right.
If I could get that seat on a bike, I probably would go bike riding more.
I'm not gonna tell that lie either.
I like
By
riding
the
the
time
bike.
I get through wrecking that bike, I don't know what happened to my balance. I probably got too fat and my body don't understand how to balance the way I used to. But that lie about once you ride a bike, you always, that's a lie. Somebody told a bold-faced lie.
It's not like riding a bike.
It's not.
I'm so tickled. Oh, y'all.
Once you know how to skate, you can out no. Girl, you will be running around with some teeth missing.
Now I know how to skate.
At that skating ring. Yeah, you think you do. Till you get this now body up on them skates.
Yeah.
And all those things you used to do, they still there in your mind. But the gravity in this now body, the gravitational pull of the earth and the firmament and the firmament, they don't match.
True story.
They don't match.
Oh, y'all.
I'm telling you, they don't.
I just, I can laugh about it, Coach. But I firmly believe that I'm supposed to be in the body that I'm in. Because I think any other body, I would be in trouble.
Did that? The body ain't never stopped me though.
That's slow me down a little bit. I'm just talking about now.
I'm right. Right now I'm doing what I choose to do because the body,
yeah, exactly.
It ain't never been the reason.
Oh no.
It ain't never been the reason, buddy.
I know that to be true, man.
Yeah, because he ain't never asked step on that scale. That ain't never been subject of
Oh no, that's not what I was talking about. That ain't what I was talking about.
Okay.
We have to talk about that offline.
But guys, if you haven't already went to bit.ly/purpose and profits call to schedule your call, you need to get on the calendar. Don't wait until everybody else is where you want to need to be. Your abundance, your next level is waiting, but you got to do something to pull it to you.
Yeah.
It truly is a journey that you have to be willing to take.
Absolutely.
So we're going to get out of here. We hope you guys have an amazing night.
And make these sweet potato pies.
Girl, don't make me drive to Dallas.
I'm about to make 10. I'll freeze you too.
You lying.
I make 10 in the season every year.
Why I never got one?
Well, see, what happened was, but I'm gonna freeze it this time in an unwrapped piece of paper.
I'm gonna have to put on that sweet potato pie. They're not gonna make it.
Well, you know how you wrap it in the foil. It look like a pie, but I'm gonna have to wrap it.
You gotta wrap it and say, put something nasty on there. Talking about
pitlets.
Huh?
Pig's feet.
No, y'all know y'all
Pig
eat
lips.
pork. Spinach.
No, they gonna eat that. You forgot who live with me.
Okay, put on there cereal pie.
The cheese pie, buttermilk pie.
They won't eat that.
They're not gonna eat that.
They don't eat chest pie.
They don't eat that.
Put that on in there.
Because we had one time where all the boys was living, my nephew's son, my son-in-law, Ray and Will, Kai, and they used to drink up all my juice. So I have hot flashes. So I put on the I put the juice in the refrigerator and I wait and let them all get a big cup. Just a big old cup of the juice. And I walked in there, I said, oh my goodness, y'all drinking my female juice.
Oh,
They say,
then
what's
I bet
that?
they spit juice all over their kitchen.
They say, oh, what's that? I said, my female hormone medicine. I said, y'all gonna all get boobs. I said, how much of it did you drink? They won't drink juice to this day. They won't touch no juice in my refrigerator.
They don't need to.
No, except for
I
Kai.
told you by that time.
I got you, Tisha.
I told you about them time I put them
X-Lax.
X-Lax in them cookies in gym. And I put a note on there and said, whatever you do, do not eat these cookies. No matter how delicious they smell or beautiful they look, girl, them cookies pretty too. Look like tall house models. I said, don't do it.
Oh Lord. That was bad, coach. That wasn't
Was
right.
it? I gave them fair warning.
That's what they get. All right, y'all. We're gonna go and get out of here. I'm gonna go in here and get my bake on. If I can stay woke.
All right, love you guys. We'll talk to you a lot later.